Welcome to episode 3 of Deconstructing Aesop's Fables. Today, another story with another group of fun animals, the mouse and the frog. And they don't mention it, but there's also a bird. Those who seek to harm others come to harm themselves through their own deceit. That's a common theme in a lot of literature, movies, television shows. Let's take a listen, see what you think of this fable. A lighthearted look at Aesop's fables and what they mean in today's world. Let's deconstruct each fable to find out who is learning the lesson and what really the lesson is to be learned. The Frog and the Mouse. A young mouse in search of adventure was running along the bank of a pond where lived a frog. When the frog saw the mouse, he swam to the bank and croaked. "Why don't you pay me a visit? I can promise you a good time if you do." The mouse did not need much coaxing, for he was very anxious to see the world and everything in it. But though he could swim a little, he did not dare risk going into the pond without some help. The frog had a plan. He tied the mouse's leg to his own with a tough reed. Then into the pond he jumped, dragging his foolish companion with him. The mouse soon had enough of it and wanted to return to shore. But the treacherous frog had other plans. He pulled the mouse down under the water and drowned him. But before he could untie the reed that bound him to the dead mouse, a hawk came sailing over the pond. Seeing the body of the mouse floating in the water, the hawk swooped down, seized the mouse, and carried it off, with the frog dangling from its leg. Thus at one swoop, he had caught both meat and fish for his dinner. Those who seek to harm others often come to harm themselves through their own deceit. All right, let's break this down a little bit. A mouse goes out to have fun. It's just looking for adventure. It's running along, goes out to have some fun. There's a frog. Apparently that frog has been sitting there waiting for someone to come by. I don't necessarily think it had to be a mouse, but it was waiting. Like, it was premeditated, without a doubt. The frog was just waiting for the mouse or any other enthusiastic passerby. The hawk? Opportunity. Opportunity to eat well is important. There's a karma lesson in this for the frog. He did wrong by the mouse. He was like, "Hey, come on, like, I know you don't know how to swim." He took him for a ride, and then he murdered him. Like, a lot of murder in these fables, so that's weird also, especially since they're kid-friendly, apparently. That mouse didn't do anything. Now this hawk, the bird I mentioned before, the hawk, he didn't do anything wrong either, or she. They were flying along, saw opportunity. Who doesn't like to eat well, right? So that's what the hawk did. This all is a very relevant theme. I'm sure you can come up with something that's happened in your life, or a story you've read, or a TV show you've watched. You know, there's karma built into the story. The frog did wrong by the mouse. The mouse didn't do anything wrong. The mouse is a pawn. That happens a lot. The innocent are unfortunately just disposable in stories like these Aesop's fables. This time it just happens to be a mouse. When I look at the lessons being learned here, the first one for the mouse is don't go out and play. Don't look for adventure because you're gonna get killed by an old frog. I think we can all agree that the mouse was innocent. How about the lesson of don't attack the innocent, that just go out to have fun? The frog learned his lesson because he ended up dying. There's really no lesson for the hawk. I guess maybe the lesson is keep an eye out for deceptors to eat. There's a lot of terrible people out there in the world, so that hawk should never go hungry. Lesson learned. Good job, Aesop, making these terrifying animals teach lessons to children. Those that seek to harm others come to harm themselves through their own deceit. Think of a time where something like that's happened to you. I'm not trying to bring up bad times. Think about a time you did it to someone else. I don't know. I'm not sure who these lessons are for. Aesop is just putting it out there. To relate it to something that's going on right now, the frog could really be just anybody not wearing a mask. The mouse is the person wearing the mask, and then I guess the doctor is the hawk. All right, that's my afterthought. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to bringing you another episode of Deconstructing Aesop's Fables. I have been John Wilkins. Hello, this is John Wilkins with a little message. If there is a specific fable that you would like deconstructed, I am happy to do it. Find Aesop's Fables on Facebook and then pick out a fable that's been read, and I'll be happy to deconstruct that one sooner than another one. Also, if you're familiar with Hit Record, I have a project there where you can write your own fable. Input is always welcomed. Just send a message. Links are in the details section. Thank you for tuning in.